But now, late run by Kyle Busch.
Alright everybody, how's it going? This is the crew. It's a makeup from last week. So yeah, go ahead and follow a little bit of the crew. With that, we'll have NASCAR race playing in the background. It's the last 20 laps of the championship race.
He made a comment earlier. He said, if I can stay with him, if I can get to his back bumper. When he was talking with Dan Patrick earlier this week, he said, if I can get to his bumper, I know how I'll race him.
And in an effort to get back to his bumper, you've seen him change his line. Now he's running up on the high side. We saw him down at the white line the corner before. He's searching, trying to find a place to make his car drive better.
And Jimmie Johnson, the 48, back in the 6th position with 19 to go, trying everything possible to try to gain on these front two. You see right here, still fighting that loose condition. A big slide by the 48. I think the 48 of Jimmie Johnson needs to be thinking a caution. They must have a caution. Come in, make adjustments, maybe gain some positions on pit road.
Laps winding down. Under 19 to go. The 19 out front.
Thing is, though, Rick, it's only 0.6 of a second between these two. Lap traffic, we saw this yesterday in the Xfinity race. Lap traffic somehow doesn't know which line they want to be in. They can block Carl Edwards. They can get in his way. This is the line Carl Edwards wants to be in, but as he goes to lap cars, how much time will that cost him?
Gibbs Racing looking to win the Xfinity Series yesterday, as well as try to capture the Sprint Cup title tonight.
Carl Edwards' calmness in that situation, bad pit stop, lost spots. He was just very calm on the restart, climbing his way back up. Never since, really, the way he was driving the car, he didn't get too aggressive. He moved around, found the best place for his car, and just methodically found his way back in front of all the guys he's raced for the championship.
So, yeah, between the two, about 0.6 of a second.
But staying there, Rick, how is it staying there? Is Carl Edwards keeping it there? By driving out of his mirror, managing the gap, or is it Kyle Busch? Did he make a couple mistakes, lose the position, but now he's just running hard enough to keep him in sight? 17 laps. It's a long time for these race car drivers.
And if a caution comes out, everyone will dive to pit road because tires are so important at this racetrack. But if a caution doesn't come out, is he conserving some of his tires? Is Kyle Busch thinking, I've got one more run at this?
We could be, because this right here is lap 40. We've talked about it. This lap right here will be the longest that either of these competitors have run on the set of tires today. So these last 15 laps are going to be uncharted territory. How much more does your car fall off? What kind of balance change do you have?
Carl Edwards, the advantage between the two as far as wins. He has won twice at this racetrack. Kyle Busch won here a year ago to win the championship. The caution will come out. A restart.
See a flat left rear tire on the 32.
And now the pressure slides directly onto the 19th pit crew. They cannot make the mistake that they made a few pit stops ago. With only 15 to go, if you make that stop, you don't have a clean stop, it can cost you a championship.
So much pressure now on the teams, on the pit crews, to not make a mistake. And does somebody gamble? Does someone like Jimmie Johnson gamble because they haven't shown the speed on the track? Could they gamble to get track position?
Well, it's going to be a tough gamble. Jimmie Johnson's in 6th. If he was back in 10th, 11th, and 12th, I think you take 2 tires because you have nothing to lose. But in the 6th position, a good pit stop, restart 4th, you can win a championship from 4th. So I think Chad Knaus has to put on 4 tires. The question is, now it's a 15-lap run. We talked about how's your car going to handle for 60 laps. Put some air pressure in the tires. Tighten the car up. Put a little tape on the ground right here. What do you need? Let me know. Come on, check it out. Needs that information from Jimmie Johnson to make good adjustment.
That way he can make the change. But I agree with you. I think what you do is you say, okay, pit crew, I trust you. I trust you to give me some spots. We can't gamble. We can't race these guys on 2 tires. Pit crew, get me those 2 spots. Get me under the 2nd row.
The other thing, do they need fuel? Can they use the gas man to do something different to speed up the stop?
Yeah, as we see here, this is what caused the caution with the 32 in the left rear tire, but that's what it's going to be about. I would put a little fuel in it just in case we saw some NASCAR overtime, so you'll have that extra man to maybe pull a left rear tire. The bigger thing is how much fuel do you want to put in for balance of the race car? If you don't put fuel in, Kyle Busch's wife, she's excited to give Kyle one more shot at this, but if you don't put fuel in, Rick, A, the so much nose weight. The percentage of the weight is on the front of the car should fire off a little quicker. There are 100 decisions going through the crew chief's mind right now.
How about the driver? What's going through the driver's mind right now?
Right now, clean pit stop, do everything I need to do, get closed up to the cars in front of me the best I can, get on the pit road, do everything right on pit road. That's the focus now. We'll get to the restart after the pit stop.
Pit road is open. Here they come. Kyle Larson, race leader, leads them onto pit road. Like
Jimmie Johnson telling Chad Knaus he can't rotate the center, needs more drive on. The call has been for 4 tires and more wedge adjustment. We've seen a lot of that for the 48 throughout the course of the day. This is the money stop for the 48, giving him an opportunity. Kelly.
I didn't see a Carl Edwards that was a little bit tight to start, but that could have been the dirty air, so I don't see any adjustments, just 4 times a little bit of fuel.
You guys made the point. Gas man Tom Levy went to the front of the car to carry a tire out, grabs the fuel comes a little bit in. We had a slip in the back of the empty. Jake Seminary is back up, but he puts the tire on, Marty.
Those guys have gained him 4 spots. The same thing looks like they will gain him 1 more here this afternoon. Up to 3rd right there for Logano, and it took off better. Car was a little bit too tight. It took some tape off and made an air pressure adjustment ring.
you see the red arrow pointing down next to Kyle Busch. Big mistake on pit road will drop him back. We'll be back with a restart.
Hey, man, you cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it?
Okay, so fair commercial break. Basically, I'm doing a community challenge.
Okay, now hit him.
I've done it
Don't
like
let him
3 or
get
4
away.
times, and this is the worst I've done so
Raven
far.
5, maintaining solid
Basically,
visual contact with the
what it
target
is
vehicle.
it gets you a free code for the new upcoming update called Logos.
Get back on him.
Roadblock units are on scene and operational. 10-4. Containment in effect ahead of the target's last known direction of travel. That's a unit down. Damn it!
Actually, went the other way.
You're losing him. We don't have much time.
Looks like they could do with a few more units down there.
Okay, now hit him.
We got a unit, Sid.
Yeah, I will be able to complete this one.
Disappointment on the 18 team as the last pit stop. Definitely not what they were hoping for. Take a look at the rear tire changer.
Well, it all starts with the lug nuts. He gets to the tire pretty good, but then he's in a rush. You see the sparks flying. The tire's not coming off. He's not getting the lug nuts off clean. The front easily beats him. Well, then in the rush, he tries to make that tire.
Looks like I'm in a lobby full of douchebags who want to play game mode instead of fucking racing.
Those 3 positions most definitely could be a championship. Kyle Larson still out front. Carl Edwards came out in front of Logano, Johnson, and Kyle Busch. The 14 team. Tony Stewart, a 3-time champion, and the laps winding down on his career. It will be 10 to go. For Tony Stewart, an amazing career that he has put together, and it all comes to an end tonight.
So now, as they line up, Kyle Larson picked the outside. That put Carl Edwards on the inside. The guy that's done the best job all night long on restarts is Joey Logano, starting right behind Carl Edwards. Can Joey Logano lay back
Again, the 48, six-time champion Jimmie Johnson. The car just hasn't agreed with him. Checking out. You heard him before the pit stop. What do we need? Big adjustments on the 48 to his outside. The 18 at Kyle Busch, a poor pit stop. But now he lines up in the outside. No one's better rolling the top than the 18 at Kyle Busch.
And you can bet Kyle Busch will try to make that happen. He's unbelievably good on the outside on restarts.
10 to go. They come into the restart zone. Kyle Larson, the outside. Carl Edwards on the inside. Green flag back in the air. They're blocking. Good go down low. Carl Edwards in the low. He got tagged by the 22. Big hits by the 19.
Oh, shit.
And the caution comes back out again.
That is exactly what we saw Joey Logano was going to try to do. Big fire in the 78. But that is what we thought was going to happen. Obviously, the wreck isn't what we thought. Martin Truex Jr. needs to get out of this race car.
Very aggressive on the restart. The flames rolling out from underneath the hood of the 78. Red flag comes out. Martin Truex Jr. is out of the car. Huge contact for the 19 of Carl Edwards. First it was the inside wall, then he was hit by another car.
The championship's on the line, Rick. The 22 gets a great restart. The 19 blocks. They make contact. Look at the damage on the 19 car. A couple huge impacts.
And we thought that's what was going to happen. The 22 of Joey Logano has been so good on restarts all night. The 22 gets a big run. Carl sees him coming. He goes to block. 22 does not slow up. Stays in the throttle. Big wreck.
And the 22 really ended up getting a lot better out of that situation because it looked as though Brad Keselowski laid completely off of it, the 22's teammate.
Well, he wanted nothing to do with it. He didn't want anything to do with the accident or the championship battle. You see the 48's blocking the 2 to the bottom.
And listen, if you're a Carl Edwards fan, you're upset at Joey Logano. If you're a Joey Logano fan, you're upset at Carl Edwards. That right there is Joey Logano being aggressive, making a very, very aggressive move, but he got a good restart. Carl Edwards had no choice but to block. If he doesn't turn left, Joey Logano's next to him entering turn 1. He's in the middle of 3 wide. Worst possible scenario for Carl. Carl turns left, trying to block a championship on the line. Joey's there in a big wreck, and you cannot even blame Carl Edwards.
Not at all.
He had to block. That's what he had to try to do.
But I don't blame Joey Logano because if he lifts with 10 to go, it's over. He lost the championship right there. He didn't hit the 19 in the bumper. He was inside the left rear bumper cover of the 19 of Carl Edwards. You see, he's walking off. It's just the frustration. It's the size of the moment. A championship on the line. We knew restarts were going to be crazy. This one was completely out of control. But what a car that Carl Edwards had tonight. That's got to make the disappointment worth. Remember, 5 years ago, he tied here. He came back trying to win a championship.
It's mandatory that when a driver gets out of the car in the race that they go to the infield care center. Normally, they're taken there by the ambulance, but I believe the communication between the track worker, the safety worker, and Carl was, I'll walk over there. I'm going to walk there.
And remember, the 19 cars, they had 47 laps tonight. That was the best of the 4 cars that were contending for the championship. So now, that's why they're disappointed. That's why he was so dejected. Now NASCAR, after this restart, they're going to have to go and figure out where everybody lines up. Remember, there's timing lines around the racetrack that lock them in, but there's also the factor that you have to maintain speed. You have to maintain a certain speed. So right now, NASCAR's looking at those scoring lines, and we'll watch replays to determine where to line everybody up.
Let's listen into the 22. Joey Logano, his radio on what took place. Here's Joey Logano. He came down right in front of me. But Carl Edwards was trying to block. He did not want to give up that position on the restart.
No, he didn't want to give it up. He didn't want to give a championship up. He was put in a position because of Joey Logano's very good restart. Joey did everything right. Carl Edwards doesn't block. He's 3 wide, in the middle, getting into turn 1. His opportunity to win a championship is definitely less in that scenario. So, an aggressive move by Logano, but in my eyes, he did everything he was supposed to do, trying to win a race and win a championship.
Summit reward.
This is what's on the line.
This is my summit reward. So we got here.
I mean, listen, he's smiling. He goes up. He's having a conversation with everything on the line.
He shook their hands.
Listen, I don't blame him for being frustrated or being upset because it's a championship, but taking time to go to them and have a conversation, I mean, that would have been difficult for me to do.
And Jeff, let me tell you, I mean, and you could speak to this more than anyone, but how difficult is it to get into this position as a driver, to get into the possibility of winning a championship? It doesn't happen very often. Carl Edwards, this might be his last chance to ever win a title, and that happened on the restart to take it away.
But remember how close he came. He and Tony Stewart, the closest finish in NASCAR history as far as points. That's how close he came to winning his championship, and he's been waiting since that moment to have another opportunity. And with only 10 laps to go to win a championship, to end up in this situation, he has to be unbelievably disappointed.
Marty.
Walking along with Carl Edwards, and he has to go to medical first and be cleared, guys, just as you know. So he's going to go do that first. But he walked up to apologize to Todd Gordon, said it was 100% my fault. And in fact, he told Todd Gordon, he said, tell Joey, go get it, go win this thing. So that's what he told Todd Gordon when he went up there, shook everybody's hand on top of that pit box, said, my fault, 100%. I'm sorry that I came across his nose like that. So what a class move by Carl Edwards. And we saw that after the 2011 championship. First guy to Tony Stewart's window, Carl Edwards. Tonight, a big wreck here. First guy up to apologize, Carl Edwards.
Well, Rick, if I'm a crew member on the 19 team, if I'm Dave Rogers, Carl Edwards, crew chief, I'm completely okay with this. Those are the moves you have to do. No one wanted it to end like this, but if he allows the 22 to get to his left with 10 to go, stuck in the middle 3 wide, he knows he's ran these restarts all night long. He was not going to be in the right position. He was going to lose the lead. We talked about what would teammates do to one another to try to win a championship. Well, what as a driver are they willing to do to win a championship? Carl Edwards just proved they're willing to do about anything to try to protect the position.
Steve, it's racing.
That's it.
Racing is going to be aggressive. And then when you add a championship on the line, guess what? It's going to become more aggressive. Joey Logano, great restart. Carl Edwards had no choice but to try to block.
And it looked like Carl Edwards said to the fire and rescue gentleman that's walking with me, hey, thanks for walking with me on this. Normally it's a ride. It was a wild ride for the 19. After an incredible race, it ends 10 laps too soon. action with 10 laps to go. The 3 championship contenders that are still on the track will be right together. 48, 18, and the 22. Mike.
Well, there's two sides of the emotional spectrum, Rick. Obviously, we just saw the disappointment of Carl Edwards there. But on the other side, the beneficiary, the 48 team. They were looking for a little bit of a Hail Mary, so to speak, to make this happen. This may be the break they need. When that transpired, look at the reaction from Chad Knaus. He wasn't the only one. The entire 48 pit box just exploded. You see Jeff Gordon back there as well. They're pretty excited. They now know they have an opportunity, perhaps, to turn in that historic 7th championship.
The 78, Martin Truex Jr. Driver was treated and released from the infield care center after the fire underneath the hood. The 2 of Brad Keselowski also has been to the infield care center and released. Involved in this accident on 258, Keselowski, Casey Kane, Regan Smith, of course the 2 chase contenders, Carl Edwards and Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Ryan Newman, Martin Truex Jr. and Ty Dillon. All involved on the restart. A lot of cleanup needs to be done. We saw the fire underneath the 78. So fluid was coming out of that car. He was up against the wall. Also, the 2 had a lot of damage to it as well. So they continue to clean up the racetrack. It's going to be a sprint to the finish. And so they will make sure that the track is clean for anything.
So really, obviously involved in that, had some contact with the 19. Well, it's hard to see, but if you look at the right front fender, right here on the 22 car, there's some damage. It looks like about, what I would say is like 3 o'clock, directly in front of the right front tire. It doesn't look damaged above the tire. Up here, where we travel and rub the tire, it looks in front of the tire. So I don't think that will rub and cause the 22 to come to pit road, but without a doubt, it's going to hurt the performance. This is really a great shot right here. You can see most of the damage is like at bumper line. About right here, it looks like the 22's push. I don't think it's going to rub. Let's listen into the 22. They've been discussing this damage.
It's damage at the headlight, but it's not going to rub. I think it'll be good.
And I agree. I mean, and let's be honest, Rick, even if it rubs, they need to stay on the racetrack. There are too many cars in late lap pitting. Definitely not in pristine condition, but not as heavy damage as perhaps I thought when I saw the initial contact.
Let's go to one who was involved in this incident. Standing by with Kelly.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. Right in the middle of that. Your car was engulfed in flames, but what was your vantage point?
All I see was the 2 coming up the track and nowhere to go. So just one of those deals, wrong place, wrong time, and we got put it back a few times. Once was our mistake early, and then Harvick's mistake after that. And just unfortunately, we had a really good race car tonight, and nothing to show for it. So it's 2 weeks in a row, and frustrated. So glad this year's over, and we'll go to regroup and get ready for next year.
Thank you, Martin. Carl.
The 5 and the 19 also were released from the infield care center. So Casey Kane and Carl Edwards. And I believe, Kelly, you're now with Carl.
Yeah, Carl, after walking all the way back to the infield care center, Carl, it sounded like you accepted responsibility for that. Take me through the restart.
Yeah, I think it was shared. I feel like it was just racing. Haven't seen a real close-up view, but the way I had it figured is, first of all, that was the race of my life up to that point. It was a lot of fun, and Joey was so good on the short run. I don't know how he got that restart. It was a really good restart. I thought everything was going to work out, and Jason told me he was looking low, and he told me basically he was there. I knew what Jason was saying, and I just pushed the issue as far as I could because I figured that was the race there. And so, yeah, I'm going to watch it again. Yeah, Joey just timed it perfectly. He moved down. I thought I could feel him a little, and I just thought that that's probably a little optimistic, but I thought I'd clear him or force him to lift. I just thought I'd have just a little more time. But he drove down as far as a guy could be expected to drive down, and that's how it ended. I don't know what the caution was for. I really hope it was something that that we need to have a caution for, because that was going really well.
Carl, we saw you walk over to the 22 pit box, shake their hands. It sounded like maybe there was an apology. Why was that important for you to go over to that team?
Yeah, no apology. I just wanted to say, hey, that's just racing, and good luck to you guys. There's so much on the line. I want to make sure that, I don't want any, anything extra to mess with Joey. He's done a good job, and they deserve to win a big fair race. I hope Kyle gets it. I just can't thank everybody enough. All of my fans, Eris, Toyota, Subway, everybody that came down here to support me. Comcast, Sport Clips. I'm a little ashamed of my haircut. I need one, and I thought we had it. I was frustrated.
5 years ago, you know what happened. You lost the championship here. You called it the ride of your life. How will you reflect on this race?
It was so much fun to drive up through those guys. This track is just, it's perfect. It's such a blast to drive. The Goodyear tires are great. I'm sliding around doing everything, having a really good time, and running Kyle down and racing him like that, and for him to race me that hard and that fair was so cool. I just hated to see that caution. That was very, very frustrating. I felt like that was our race, our championship. But hey, this is how racing goes.
Yeah, but it was under that caution that your pit crew really stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, they put it in my hands. That's all you can ask for. Dave Rogers, my guys, everybody, they did a good job, and it didn't work out. This is life. We performed well. We did our best, and I just risked too much. And Dave told me before this race, you know, it's a pretty big reward. And remember, risk gets reward. And I had to push it. I couldn't go to bed tonight and think that I gave him that lane. So I watched the rest of the race, and I am telling you, this team is going to be on fire next year. You watch out. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Steve, I think that's it. He could not sleep, not only the rest of the night, but all next year, knowing that he gave that lane. And he said it, Joey Logano gave an unbelievable restart as he's done all night, and all there was had to block. And what a stand-up guy to sit there and look at it and put this much on the line and say, hey, look, it was shared, but certainly was optimistic that they got to keep him behind.
I mean, at some point, you have to make a decision to do something that's outside of the ordinary. And that's what Carl Edwards decided right there. He went down. Heck, they were in the yellow paint. They were off the racing surface. There's a curve down there for the road course. I'm not sure if they were going to make it over the curve if they did get it figured out. But a classy interview. An entire season got him to this point. And then one restart basically cost himself a chance at the championship.
Still under red flag condition as track cleanup continues. They want to make this track as good as possible. 10 laps of the 2016 season.
Hey.
Thank you.